broadcastnetwork.com.
Is the healthcare law a tax?
Yeah, I mean,
Is that what you're
if
asking?
I remember right, the Supreme Court handed down a decision that this was in fact a tax. You don't remember that?
I do apologize. Give me one moment, sir. I'll be more than glad to answer that question as well.
Okay, thank you.
It specifically
You're
said
very welcome.
that it is not constitutional under the Commerce Clause. They said it is constitutional under the tax. And as to the question about raising taxes for the middle class, if I may, sir, let's just look at the record. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates that in 2016, 4 million Americans will pay the mandate penalty or tax. 75% of those people will make less than $120,000 a year. And the CBO says between 2012 and 2021, those folks will pay $27 billion in additional taxes. So,
Chris,
if I may just finish my question, and then I promise I'll let you talk. The middle class is taking quite a hit by what the Supreme Court said is a tax.
It is a law that was passed by Congress in March of 2010.
Okay.
You can read the text of the healthcare law in full or section by visiting healthcare.gov. The section by section version of the healthcare law is also available at ccio.cms.gov as well.
So, since it's a law, if I don't sign up, say I choose to stick with not having health care at all, what would you call the fines if they're not taxes?
Now, as far as if you decided that you did not want to sign up at all for health insurance, the Affordable Care Act requires most people to maintain health insurance. You can get insurance through your job, through the health insurance marketplace, or directly from an insurance company. After open enrollment ends on March 31st, 2014, you cannot get marketplace coverage until the next annual enrollment period, unless you have a qualifying life event such as a birth or marriage. If you do not get health insurance in 2014, you may have to pay a fee. The fee in 2014 is 1% of your yearly income or $95 per person for the year, whichever is higher. The fee for uninsured children is $47.50 per child. The most a family would have to pay is $285. Amounts go up after 2014.
Okay, so this fee, is this fee not a tax? Is it not collected by the IRS? I mean, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm just trying to figure out, what's really going on here.
No, sir. Now, in regards to it, this is not a tax. This is a law that provides you with consumer protections, and it was passed by the Congress for the Affordable Care Act in March of 2010. It requires you to maintain health insurance for yourself and your family.
Right, yeah, you've read that before, but you mentioned that I would be fined. Who's collecting the fine? Are they going to come to my house with like a SWAT team and open fire if I don't pay the fine? I mean, what happens if I say, I'm not contracting with the government? I don't want anything to do with this. What if I, turn my back and I walk into the woods and I become a hermit? Are they going to come after me?
No, sir. In regards to the fee that would be assessed if you decided not to enroll into an insurance plan and carry health coverage, an uninsured person will pay the fee for 2014 and 2015 when he or she files a federal income tax return. If you don't pay the fee, the Internal Revenue Service will hold back the amount from any future tax refunds. There are no liens, levies, or criminal penalties for failing to pay the fee.
There's no punishment for failing to pay the fee.
There will be no liens, levies, or criminal penalties for failing to pay the fee.
Okay, where is that stated?
As far as where you could find that information in regards to the fee, is that correct, sir?
Yeah, of course, because if somebody's going to decide, okay, I'm not going to participate in this, they want to know that nobody's going to come after them for deciding they don't want to participate in it. So can you tell us
Yes.
where that is stated so that we understand the government is not going to come after us for not wanting to participate?
Yes, sir. You can read the text of the healthcare law in full or section by section by visiting healthcare.gov, and all of that information is provided to you in regards to the Affordable Care Act law that was passed by the Congress in March of 2010.
Right, but as far as I've
as
heard,
well
that's
as with the fee.
as far as I've heard, that's over 10,000 pages. I don't know if I have enough time in the rest of my life to read all of that. So, I mean, I've heard that it is a tax. The IRS is going to collect it. They've got SWAT teams, and, you tell me on the phone, oh, it's not a tax, it's a law, we're not going to come after you. But you won't tell me where it actually says that.
What I'm stating to you, sir, is that you can find the information on healthcare.gov, and you can use the search engine that is provided for you on the website on healthcare.gov, and you can put in fee, and it will search for the information for you and bring you to the portion of that information for you to be able to access the information in regards to the Affordable Care Act fee if you do not carry health coverage insurance.
Okay, so let's say I decide to go with the Affordable Health Care Act. Does that mean that like you guys are acting as a middleman between me and some private company that does health insurance, or are you guys a health insurance entity of your own? I mean, I don't understand how it works.
Yes, sir. I'll be more than glad to assist you with that as well. Yes, sir. Now, in regards to the plans, there is private plans that are offered through the marketplace for you to have insurance, health coverage insurance. These are private companies that are offering you health coverage insurance through the marketplace.
Okay, so private companies are offering me insurance, and if I don't want the insurance offered to me by private companies, the government is going to come after me. That's what you're saying.
The only thing that I'm stating to you, sir, is that if you decided not to enroll into a health coverage insurance through your employer or through the marketplace, and if you decided to stay as an uninsured person, you will pay the fee for 2014 in 2015. When he or she files when you would file your federal income tax return, if you do not pay the fee, the Internal Revenue Service will hold back the amount from any future tax refunds. There are no liens, levies, or criminal penalties for failing to pay the fee.
Okay, so they actually have you believing that you can talk to Americans and tell them that they will pay a fee. That's literally what it says on your paper. You will pay a fee for 2014. And you're reading that to people, telling them what they will do. That's what you're doing.
Sir, I'm just letting you know what is part of the Affordable Care Act law that was enacted in March of 2010 for a person who is uninsured after the 2014 year if you do not sign up for health insurance to maintain health insurance.
So now it's the Affordable Health Care Act law. You know how ridiculous that sounds,
yes, sir,
right? It's not a law. Okay, I think that I'm going to just go ahead and take some more time to think about it, and I'll call you back later. Thank you very much. Have a nice night.
You're very welcome. Thank you for calling Marketplace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. And I don't know, but it looks to me like everyone, and I imagine there's other people out there calling this, everyone out there who's calling and uploading videos to YouTube, it's being blocked. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the 2 calls I've made, not that I've got time to do it, but I'm going to try and get them uploaded to YouTube, and then they'll probably get blocked too, but I'll get them embedded on the network. I don't know what you call this, except evil. And, I started the broadcast off by saying I'm getting complaints from people saying, why can't you just talk about the facts? You use words like evil, and I just want to hear the facts. Well, what you just heard there was a representative for Obamacare saying that it's a law when it is not a law, telling you that you will pay a fee in 2014 like she is your God. The fact that the government is fining you, which is a penalty for breaking the law. That's the definition of the word fine when there is no law. In and of itself, I ought to tell you something is wrong. This legislation has been changed since before it was passed. Since it was passed, it was changed. That's not legal. If the President of the United States wants to change legislation, he has to show the changes he wants to make and send it back to the House. Send it back to the Senate, and it has to be repassed by the House and the Senate. You don't pass legislation and then have the dictator change it. That's not how it's supposed to work. That in and of itself makes Obamacare, or the Affordable Health Care Act, unconstitutional. The fact that it has been determined by the Supreme Court to be a tax, but it did not originate in the House of Representatives, makes it unconstitutional. It is illegal. It is unlawful. Do not contract with evil. Do not call that number. Do not agree to anything. Do not sign up to anything. And make no mistake about it, I would not be surprised. They'll have people knocking on your door, going to your house, knocking on your door, pushing a button, marking your GPS location, and handing you forms and trying to get you to sign up. And what you need to do is turn around and close the door. Do not contract with evil. I'm out for the night. Death to the New World Order.
truthbroadcastnetwork.com.